out there has ridden motorcycles? Oh, I see a few. Great. For those of you that haven't, I hope to share with you my experience, enthusiasm, and adrenaline I get from motorcycle riding. The first bike that I bought was in 1982. Don't ask how old I was. I was very young and naive. Let's just leave it at that. I was driving home from work one day, and I went past this yard that had a motorcycle sitting on it for a sale sign, 500 bucks. And I thought, well, I'll try that. I always wanted to ride a motorcycle. I'll go see if I can buy it. And sure enough, he was willing to sell it. Little did I know 500 bucks was way overpriced, but what did I know? I wanted the bike. Turns out that, I didn't know how to ride a bike. I'd never been on a bike, and I bought this bike. So I asked him to give me a ride home. So he gave me a ride home. I rode on the back of the motorcycle to get home. So there I am sitting at home the next morning with a motorcycle in the carport and decided I'm going to go ride it. I mean, it can't be difficult, right? It's like riding a bicycle, being balanced. So I'm going to go ride the bike. And sure enough, took it out of the carport, went up around the corner, went through the neighborhood a couple of times very slowly, and felt confident as heck on a motorcycle. So I proceeded to get my permit, my driver's license, and all that good stuff so I could legally ride the motorcycle. And I got a helmet, which I didn't have the first time. So in today's world, at my age, I wouldn't even dream of doing this. So that's how young and, let's say, not necessarily naive, but energetic I was. So the first way that I decided to ride my motorcycle on a regular basis was to and from work. I will tell you, though, that I did not want to get dressed in motorcycle clothes, go to work, undress into regular work clothes, go home by dressing back into motorcycle clothes. Didn't want to do it. I basically put my work clothes on, got on the motorcycle, and rode to work. So imagine this. Here I am, dress pants, dress boots, all the way up to the knee, and on the motorcycle from World War II, from the Nazis. You know how they had poofed out legs into the skinny shaft of the calf from the boot? That's how I looked. And yes, I was a laughing stock to many people at work, but I didn't care. The next adventure that I chose to do on my own was ride from San Jose to Santa Cruz to go to the beach. Hung out, ate, whatever, hung out, did beach stuff, and then went to drive home. But I met somebody, and they were an experienced motorcycle rider, and we were going to ride home. So we rode home on Highway 92 from Santa Cruz to Campbell, where his house was. And I wanted to follow him because he could ride great. He took turns bending way over to where his knee almost hit the street. And I love that because you can have a lot more control over the bike when you bend sideways to take the bike to around the corner. So I emulated that. Of course, I didn't go quite as low, but I was learning that for many years so I could get it. I really liked being able to do that. Then I met my husband, and he didn't ride a motorcycle. He didn't have a motorcycle. He decided he would ride on the back of my bike if we wanted to go somewhere, which was great. I mean, I don't mind having a passenger on my bike. Well, after 9 months, he said, this is it. I am too embarrassed to ride behind my wife on a bike. So he proceeded to get his driver's license and got his own motorcycle. So now we're set up to do trips together. I love doing trips together with my husband. We had a good partnership. We had a good relationship with all the rules on the road for riding together. And we took many trips, weekend trips, multiple trips, day trips. One of the trips that we took was a long cross-country trip. His nephew was getting married in Denver. We lived in Redwood City. So we were going to go to Denver on all the back roads because they curved. And it wasn't a freeway. It wasn't the straight idiot cars on the freeway. Not to say there weren't idiot cars on the curves, but not like the freeway. Anyway, we went around the curves and we hit the Canyonlands. We went the southern route through Utah. And let me tell you, when you're on a motorcycle and you see the Canyonlands broad and wide, and you can look through your helmet and it looks 180 degrees wide, it is gorgeous. It is totally gorgeous. Imagine those colored rocks. You don't have to look through a windshield. You don't have to get out and take a picture. You just ride along. And adrenaline was flowing in me like crazy. I loved it. And I couldn't wait to come back because we had to take the same route back. So once we left the Canyonlands, we decided that we needed to, oh, by the way, we we actually went camping on this trip. I wanted to mention that because we piled up the motorcycles with tents, with sleeping mats, with tarps, and utensils for cooking. So here we were with this mountain of stuff on the back of our bikes. We looked like Beverly Hillbillies on motorcycles. Then we went down this road on the way to Denver from the Canyonlands, and there was this mom and pop shop that had a store and sold gas. Well, right before their exit, they had a homemade sign up at the top that said, "Eat and get gas." Who's going to eat to get gas? Okay, well, we know the reason for the sign. It was just really hilarious to read that going down the freeway. When we got to Denver, there's a mountain called Pikes Peak in Denver. It's in the town, and it's a narrow circumference at the bottom, and it's a very tall altitude. And we were going to ride our bikes up to see what the view is from up top. Great idea. We started up, and about a third of the way through, the altitude got really thin, the air got really thin, the altitude got high. And our motorcycle spark plug stopped trying to work. So on my bike, I could just push a button, and that would adjust the spark plug to the altitude. My husband's bike did not have that button, and he refused to take it apart to adjust the spark plug, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. So we chose to not go to the peak, which was good because it was also a gravel road, which I wasn't totally confident in. You know, you can slip and slide if you hit the brakes too hard, your front wheel can slide. I didn't really want to deal with that. So we went down the pike and we went to the wedding. And all I can say is it was the best ride I ever took in my motorcycle. It was the best trip I ever took with my husband. I had a great time, and I was definitely excited, enthusiastic, and adrenaline, and I just loved it. So I am very appreciative to have had that opportunity to do that with my husband. And I am very Zen-like when I think of the motorcycle today. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.